Look down at your ankles right now. Not in a minute, right now. If they look puffy, if the sock leaves a deep groove pressed into your skin at the end of the day, like the elastic ate into you, you have probably already been told what it means. Your heart, your kidneys, bad circulation. Somebody ran the tests, told you everything looked fine, and sent you home with the same 2 swollen ankles and no real answer. Here is what almost nobody has told you. For most people past 60, that swelling has nothing to do with the heart or the kidneys or any dangerous disease. It is coming from a system that regular medicine barely mentions. One that runs slow and thick and congested somewhere after 60. It has a name, the lymphatic system. And if that sounds complicated, give me 60 seconds because it isn't. And the fix is something you can do lying in your own bed tomorrow morning in about 5 minutes. I'm going to show you what this system is, why it clogs up after 60, and exactly how to get it draining again. And look, these puffy ankles, the heavy legs, the tests that keep coming back normal while you still feel awful. This is exactly the kind of thing my patients bring to me week after week. So, let me tell you about something before we go any further. I took everything I tell my own patients and put it into one simple plan for living longer, stronger, and healthier after 60. 28 of the things that actually change as you get older. Your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your memory, your balance. And those are only some of them. Thousands of people are already using it to take back their health. And it has already helped so many of them live their best life after 60. The link is on your screen right now, so go check it out at drmyers.com, and I'll drop that same link down in the description below, so it is right there whenever you're ready. Alright, back to your ankles. I'm Dr. John Myers, internal medicine, more than 20 years sitting across from people just like you. And here is one thing I have learned about the way we practice today. We are very good at catching the big scary things. Heart attacks, strokes, the true emergencies. We are genuinely bad at the nagging problem that isn't going to kill you, but is quietly stealing the quality of your days. Walk into most offices past 60 with swollen ankles and there is an almost automatic routine, blood work, an EKG, a blood pressure check, and when it all comes back clean, you get the shrug and the line you have probably heard already. It's just your age. Move around more. Drink some water. Put your feet up. And I don't blame my colleagues for it. They get about 8 minutes with you, and in 8 minutes, that routine is all you can do. But it has a giant hole. It hunts for serious disease, and when it finds none, it assumes there's no problem worth solving. Between serious disease and nothing wrong at all, there is an enormous stretch of ground where millions of people actually live. The place where a system is working badly without being broken. That is exactly where your congested lymphatic system sits, invisible on every test they ran. Here's what's really happening. When a part of your body swells, that puffiness is fluid collected in the soft tissue under your skin. The medical word is edema, which sounds frightening but only means swelling. So where does the fluid come from and why does it get stuck? 2 main answers. The first is the heart. If it's too weak to pump properly, pressure backs up in the veins until fluid gets pushed out into the tissues. That one is serious. It needs treatment and I won't pretend otherwise. But there's a second cause, far more common after 60, that almost no one explains. The system whose entire job is to collect that extra fluid and carry it away has slowed down, the lymphatic system. Here is the piece that changes everything. You have 2 separate plumbing systems running through your body. The first you learned about in school, the cardiovascular system, and it has a powerful engine driving it, the heart. It never stops. Running right alongside it is a second set of pipes, much thinner and more delicate. And it works as the drainage system for your whole body. Its job is to collect the fluid that leaks out of your blood vessels, gather up the waste, and carry it to little filtering stations called lymph nodes where it gets cleaned. That is the lymphatic system. And now the detail that matters most. The lymphatic system has no pump, no heart of its own, none. It depends completely on one thing to move, your muscles. Every time you move your legs, every time you walk or climb a stair, the muscles squeeze against those thin vessels and push the fluid upward against gravity. The muscle is the pump, the only pump it has. So, you can see the trap. After 60, a lot of people move less. Not because they are lazy. A knee hurts. They're afraid of falling. The body stops demanding movement the way it used to. And when the movement drops off, the lymph stops flowing. It gets thick and sluggish, and the fluid that should be carried away pools in the lowest points of the body. The ankles, the feet, that tight shiny skin by evening. Your heart is fine, your drainage has stalled. I want to give this a name because we will keep coming back to it. Lymph stasis. Stasis just means standstill. The fluid that is supposed to keep moving has come to a stop. Why does this hit so hard after 60? Because several things pile up at once, right at the age you are least set up to handle them. First, the lymph vessels get stiffer. Same as your arteries, same as your skin, they lose their elasticity with age and need more of a push to move anything at all. Second, muscle activity drops even in people who think of themselves as active. You are almost certainly moving less than you did at 40, and it happens in ways so small you don't notice. A few more hours in the chair, the elevator instead of the stairs, cutting the evening walk short because your feet ache. Every one of those is the pump running less often. Third, and this one surprises my patients, most people over 60 are a little dehydrated and don't feel it because the thirst signal itself fades with age, so you drink less. And here's the part that sounds backward. When you don't drink enough, your lymph gets thicker and moves even worse. Water does not make you swell. Water is what helps the whole system flow. Fourth is heat. Swollen ankles get dramatically worse in hot weather. Heat widens your blood vessels. More fluid leaks into the tissue, and it floods an already slow drainage system. Cold does the opposite, tightening the vessels and slowing the leak. So it's never one thing. It's four forces arriving together at the worst possible moment. But here is the good news, and I have watched it in the clinic more times than I can count. This system responds beautifully to simple things. No medication, no machine, no gym, 5 minutes a day done consistently, and knowing exactly what to do with them. Before I give you those 5 minutes, I have to draw a hard line, because being responsible about this matters more than anything else in this video. There are times when a swollen ankle is not a lazy lymph system and it needs a doctor today. Not tomorrow, today. Listen closely. If the swelling came on suddenly over a few hours or overnight, and it is in one leg only, that can be a clot deep in the vein, and that is an emergency. If it comes with shortness of breath, chest pain, or a racing heart, that can be the heart, and you do not wait. If the skin over it is red, hot to the touch, and you have a fever, that can be an infection that needs treatment. And if you put your feet up for a solid half hour, and there is no improvement at all, that deserves to be looked at. Now, if none of those alarms are ringing, if the swelling is in both legs, worse at the end of the day than in the morning, and it eases when you lie down and lift your feet, and your heart and blood work have already been checked and came back clean, then what you very likely have is exactly what I described: lymph stasis, fluid that has simply stopped moving, and that you can do something about. Quick thing while we're here, if you are recognizing your own legs in what I'm describing, do me a favor and tell me in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. I read them, and the age of the people watching genuinely shapes which topics I make next. And if you want more straight talk about your body after 60 with no runaround, hit subscribe so the next one finds you. Okay, the 5 minutes. Here is the habit. Take it seriously precisely because it is so simple. Because simple does not mean weak. In medicine, the simplest thing is very often the one that works. You do this every morning before you get out of bed, still lying down, no special clothes, no equipment, you don't even stand up. 4 parts and all 4 matter. One alone gives you a little. All 4 together is a completely different result. Part 1 is position. Put 2 pillows under your legs so your ankles and calves sit higher than your heart. 1 thick pillow can be enough. Gravity does the work here. Fluid runs downhill. So by lifting your legs, you hand the lymph a clear path down toward your trunk where it can actually drain. Stay there a full minute before you start. Part 2 is the pump. Physical therapists call it the ankle pump, and it looks far too simple to do anything, which is exactly why people skip it. Legs still up, point your toes down away from you, then pull them back up toward your shin. Down and up, slow and steady. 1 full minute. Every time you flex that foot, the big muscle in your calf squeezes the lymph vessels inside it and forces the fluid upward toward the nodes behind your knee and up in your groin. That is your pump firing by hand. Then roll your ankles in slow circles, 10 one way, 10 the other. That works the smaller vessels around the ankle, the ones that clog first. Part 3 surprises everyone, and it may be the most powerful of the 4, your breath. The big muscle you breathe with, the diaphragm, sitting under your lungs, works as a second pump for your lymph. When you take a slow, deep breath, it drops down into your belly, and that change in pressure inside your chest pulls lymph up from your legs into the main drainage channel of the whole system, a large vessel called the thoracic duct. That is the master drain. And deep breathing opens it. So while you do the ankle work, breathe like this. In slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, letting your belly rise, not your chest. Hold for 2. Out slowly through your mouth for 6 to 8 seconds, emptying all the way. Do 10. And there's a bonus. That slow breathing switches on the calm repair side of your nervous system, which lowers inflammation across the body. Part 4 is the massage. Sit up on the edge of the bed with both hands. Press gently but firmly on the top of your foot and slide your hands upward. Toes to ankle, ankle to calf, calf to knee. Always upward toward your body, never back down. There's a reason for the one direction. The lymph vessels have tiny one-way valves that only let fluid flow toward the heart. Stroke downward and you fight those valves. Stroke upward and you push with the current. Keep the pressure light. You're not kneading dough. It's about the pressure you'd use to wipe a window with a cloth, just enough to slide the skin. The lymph runs right under the surface and does not want to be crushed. Give each leg a minute. That's 5 minutes. Do it every morning before you stand up for 3 weeks. And I promise you'll feel the difference. I'm not selling you magic. This is plain physiology. And physical therapists use these exact moves every day. It's real, it's free, and it's yours. The morning drill is the engine, but a handful of daily habits either feed it or wreck it. Water. I'm saying it again because it matters that much. Aim for 1.5 liters to 2 L a day, unless your doctor has told you to limit fluids for a heart or kidney reason, in which case you follow their number, not mine. Lymph needs water to move. A glass of warm water first thing before the coffee is one of the kindest things you can do for it. Movement spread across the day. If you're sitting, get up every 45 minutes or so, even for 10 steps and back. It doesn't have to be a walk, it only has to unstick the legs. Every time you move, you restart the pump. Keep heat off your legs. Very hot baths, a radiator aimed at your feet, thick socks in the heat of summer. All of it widens the vessels and pushes more fluid into the tissue. Watch the salt. And I know this one is hard to hear. Salt holds water in the body. I'm not telling you to strip it out completely. That isn't healthy either. But if you eat a lot of deli meat, canned food, and packaged meals loaded with sodium, and your ankles balloon by evening, those two things are connected. Cutting the added salt is one of the fastest ways to bring swelling down. And the last one costs nothing. Sleep with your feet slightly raised, lifting the foot of your mattress 4 or 5 inches, or slipping a thin pillow under your feet is plenty. While you sleep, your body has 7 or 8 uninterrupted hours to drain the fluid you collected all day. Let it. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call her Barbara. She's a composite, a mix of many patients I've cared for, but every detail of her is true to life. 71. Sharp, active, walked her dog every morning. Over one summer, her ankles swelled until by evening she couldn't get her shoes on. She did everything right. Blood work, heart checked, all of it fine. And she left more frightened than when she walked in because now she had the swelling and no explanation. I want to talk about that fear because it's the part we doctors tend to ignore. When your body starts sending signals nobody explains, the mind fills the silence with the worst thing it can imagine. I'm going to end up in a wheelchair. I'm going to be a burden to my kids. I have heard those exact words hundreds of times, and every time I feel we failed that person somewhere upstream. And that fear isn't only painful, it's physically harmful. Chronic fear and anxiety raise a hormone called cortisol, your stress hormone. High cortisol increases inflammation throughout the body and yes, can make you hold on to more fluid. Fear about the swelling can quietly feed the swelling. That's why I do this. Understanding breaks the fear. When you have a clear picture instead of a vague dread, it stops running the show and turns into action. That is the difference between feeling like a victim of your own body and working with it. Your legs are one of the very few places in all of this where you actually hold the lever in your own hand. Barbara started the 5-minute morning routine. I'll tell you how it went in a moment. I can't leave out compression stockings because someone has almost certainly told you to try them. They work. They genuinely do. But there's a right way and a wrong way. And the wrong way is common. They're an outside squeeze for your legs that helps push the fluid upward, making up for the weak pump inside. 3 things to get right. Put them on in the morning before you get up. Not halfway through the day when your ankles are already swollen and you're only trapping fluid that pulled. Use the mild ones from the pharmacy, which are safe for most people, and get a doctor's say-so before anything stronger. Because for certain circulation problems, strong compression can do harm, and treat them as a helper, not a cure. Wear them and do nothing else. And the moment they come off, your ankles go right back. Combine them with the routine, and the water and the movement, and now everything pulls the same direction. So the question everyone asks, Doctor, how long until I see something? Honestly, it depends. If your lymph has been congested for months, you won't see a dramatic change in a day, and I won't insult you by promising one. But here's what I've watched happen again and again in people who do it every day. In the first week, the ankles are less swollen in the morning, and it takes longer into the day before the swelling shows at all. By the second week, the heavy, tired feeling in the legs is lighter, and by evening, the difference is real enough to see. By the third week, the whole pattern has shifted. The swelling doesn't climb to where it used to, and the skin over the ankles feels softer, looser, less like a drum. That's what happened to Barbara. 3 weeks in, she sent me a note. She was back in her normal shoes by dinner time. No pill, no procedure. She'd simply given her body the one thing it was missing every single day. That's the whole secret. 5 minutes every morning beats an hour once in a while. Every time your body answers gentle and regular, far better than big and occasional. And that right there, what I just walked you through, is one small piece of a much bigger picture. 1 page out of 28 if you want to think of it that way. If today made sense to you and you'd like the rest, the whole plan is waiting for you. The link is down in the description and it's pinned right at the top of the comments. No rush, no pressure. It'll be there whenever you're ready. So, here is your morning start to finish for tomorrow. 1. 2 pillows under the legs, ankles above the heart, 1 minute. 2. Ankle pumps for a minute, then slow circles, 10 each way. 3. 10 deep belly breaths while you do it. In for 4, out for 6 to 8. 4. Sit up and stroke each leg upward for a minute. Light pressure always toward the heart. Then through the day, drink your water, get up every 45 minutes, keep heat off your legs, go easy on the salt, and sleep with your feet raised. 5 minutes in the morning, a few small choices after. That's the whole thing. If this helped you understand your own legs a little better, do 2 things for me. First, if someone in your family has swollen ankles and has never heard any of this, send them this video today. Not next week, today. Information that could help somebody is no good sitting in your watch history. And second, if you want to keep learning how to take care of your body after 60 honestly and without the runaround, subscribe, give this one a like, and leave me a comment. I read them, and they tell me what you need next. Take care of yourself. I mean that. One last thing, and it's important. Everything here is for education only. It's not a diagnosis, it doesn't replace your own doctor, and it isn't personal medical advice. Every person is different, and what helps most people may not be right in your case. And remember, if your swelling comes on suddenly in one leg or with chest pain, trouble breathing, or a fever, do not wait. Get medical help right away. When in doubt about your health, always ask a qualified professional.